Rhodey, I was impressed with you the first time we met. The way you stood tall in the sun and sparkled as if you were winking at us. I love the way you tilt your hood when you need service or just daily inspections. I love it when you stick shift, when your load is light or just to impress. I even love the manly sound you make when spitting out moisture from your air system. I love it when you pull up long, mountainous roads, never breaking a sweat, then safely holding us back on steep downhill grades like the true champion that you are. I don't think you could ever disappoint. Rhodey, I love you. Susan, what are you doing here?
The bigger question is, what are you doing here?
I'm talking to Rhodey.
Are you crying?
No, I have allergies.
But that still doesn't answer the question, what you're doing here.
I'm talking to Rhodey. A lot of people talk to their vehicles.
Yeah, but they don't put them in their videos.
Yeah, you got a valid point there. And that brings us to today's video. Welcome everyone to Ferg TV. I'm Ray, this is Sue, and today we have a little bit of a special different video for you. So let's get going. So you probably read the title of the video and said, who is this guy to tell me if an HDT is or isn't for me? And the truth is, nobody can tell you if an HDT is for you or not. So don't let anybody tell you.
So what's with the title then?
Well, it's simple, but complicated.
What else is new?
Yeah, what else is new? So, as a video creator, you have to create interest. And in doing so, you walk a fine line when you create a thumbnail and a title. You walk a fine line between interest and clickbait.
What is clickbait?
Clickbait? Well, I have that written down right here because there is a description for this, and it says, the clickbait description online, content whose main purpose is to attract attention and encourage visitors to click a link. I had to write it down because I wanted to do it word for word. And the odd thing about that is, isn't that basically every title and every thumbnail that's out there is basically what that is. So
some of them are very low and others are very quiet.
They're all about grabbing attention and getting you to come in, because if we don't get you to come in and look, we have no chance for a view and possibly subscribing. And this is probably a good segue into that. We would both appreciate it very much if you took a minute and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to meander this forward a little bit, and subscribing really helps. It's just a huge step forward with the algorithms, and if you can, go give it the old up yours. That doesn't hurt either. And somebody told me just the other day, I don't know if this is true or not, it's painless
I heard
to subscribe. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. They also said it was also like, it reminded them of giving blood without the prick. So, you know, very satisfying.
All right, I think we need to get back on topic.
So the question is, would an HDT be right for you? I mean, how would you know? Where do you start? What's the next thing that you would do if you wanted to pursue this?
I think attending an HDT rally is a good starting point.
So we didn't start there, although eventually we did go to an HDT rally. What I did is I went online, and then you have to figure out, what website do I go to? You know, what do I need to know about an HDT? What model truck, what brand truck, what engine to use, what transmission, what rear axle ratio, what color, how many miles are acceptable. The list just is endless. It's overwhelming at times. So you have to just do like you do with every project. Start at the beginning. And the beginning is, you do your due diligence, right? You learn everything there is to know about a semi-truck and start there. These trucks are big, and this is a big decision. So I say a big decision because it's kind of a pun, big truck, big decision, but it is a big decision because if you decide to go with a pickup truck, it's a little easier to change costs, right? To get out, you can sell the truck easier than you can sell one of these.
And life happens, so you need to take that into account.
Yeah, life throws you curveballs
Yes,
every
it
now and
does.
then, and if you need to get out of this, it's easier to get away from a pickup truck than it is to this. It is to get away from one of these. Now that doesn't mean that there isn't a market for it, but the market is tight, right? It's not as big a market as a pickup truck market. And the other thing is, a pickup truck, chances are, wouldn't need nearly as many changes or upgrades as a semi-truck would, and they tend to be less expensive, the changes that you do have to make. Now, the commercial truck, on the other hand, requires a great deal of change for you to get from a commercial semi-truck to a motorhome, and there is a difference. So this is the part where I say, you may have noticed, but I have an RVH Lifestyles hat on. There's a reason for that. It's my segue into the next chapter. You need to make a big decision. Are you going to take a shot at converting this thing from a commercial truck to a motorhome? Or are you going to find a dance partner that has already done this and is versed in how you do many things that have to be done, the singling of it, and we'll get into all of that. So, but you have to make that big decision. Are you going to do it, or are you going to have somebody else do it? I know for me, I considered doing it about this long, maybe this long, and I said, no, I'm going to find a good dance partner. And I contacted RVH Lifestyles, and I don't think we ever regretted that,
No, not at all.
that decision.
Not at all.
No.
They were great.
Yep. So there are other converters out there besides RVH Lifestyles. I can only speak to our experience with them. And I got to be honest with you, I never went out and got other numbers. I was just content working with Jack and Mark because we were comfortable with them. Are they the cheapest converter out there? I don't know. I doubt it. But my quality is there. And there's other things besides the quality. There is the after the sale. And they've been there for me. And they've been there for us when we've had issues. They were like, boom, no thought about it. What do you need? We'll help you. And to me, that's an important part of the sale also, right? There's not just what am I getting, how much does it cost, what is the quality, but what kind of a team are you dealing with after? And we dealt with a good team. So you'll probably never hear me say anything bad about those two guys. No, we were very, very satisfied. Did they pay us to say all of this stuff?
Nope.
No, so we're saying it because it's true.
It's true.
That's what we found to be true. Now, somebody else may work with them and say, well, I didn't find that to be. But for me, there's several reasons that I'll state that we were happy with them. So Jack helped me in my decision-making process because, as we talked about, you're going to have to make some big decisions. He helped me decide on how we were going to go forward. Are we going to single? Are we going to lengthen the chassis a little bit? What body style are we going to use? What are some of the other things? Let's see. Oh, I've got notes here on the side. One of the other things is, how about any repairs that should be done now? And any service that, because of the mileage that you have on the unit, what would be recommended to do now? And these are all things that they already know. So that was Jack helping me out, but then there was Mark. And Mark took us and made sure that we could drive
the truck comfortably.
Yeah, comfortably.
And he showed us how to, you mainly, to put the car up on the bed.
And I'm going to insert a little video right here.
Can't go.
It
can't
won't
go. It won't go. That's what you want.
But it can make me pee my pants a little bit, right?
Here's what was different this time. I could have.
I'm not doing the laundry, I can tell you that. Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. Mark will appreciate that. Mark's a pilot. So our experience was they treated us like a king and queen, like we were royalty, and that's mostly because we're special.
Actually, they treat everyone the same.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. We didn't get treated any different than anybody else, but that's a good thing. That's something you should know. We were treated very well over there, and they treat everybody the same. I thought we were special. So now we should probably talk about the pluses and minuses, mostly the pluses to an HDT. I'm referring back to my notes. I can't remember all of this stuff. One of the things is high visibility from the windshield and the side windows. Great mirror coverage, right? You have the two mirrors up on the front of the hood, and then you have the two West Coast, I call them West Coast, I don't know what they call them nowadays, but I've grown up in the trucking industry working over at International Harvester. They used to be called West Coast mirrors. The big mirrors on the side of your doors, so you have pretty good visibility down the sides of your whole rig, really. I mean, because you get to see right down the truck and trailer, right? Exactly. What else do we have? Oh, here's an important point. Most people believe when you get into this monster, you're not going to be able to see out in front of you. Your vision's going to be blocked. Not true, is it?
No, it's not. It's very, a very nice view. You can see everything.
Well, and that's because that hood drops down rather quickly, right? Not like my pickup truck. My 3500 Chevrolet, that hood stuck out a lot further. Our vision in the front of that truck was blocked more than it is on this. That's hard to believe. It sounds like you're making it up, but if you go to an HDT rally, don't be afraid to talk to somebody with a truck, and more than likely we'll let you take it for a little ride around, and you get to feel what it's like to be sitting in the seat, the view that you get, the feeling of well, you don't get it immediately. I mean, you have to become one with the truck. You have to get acclimated. The first day you sit in it, you're not going to exactly feel this way. But the more that you drive it, you're going to feel that sense of security in this thing. Even though it's big, it's like anything else. That was the first thing we saw when we went to Oklahoma and looked at this thing. I think we both said the same thing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Are we making a mistake? This thing is a monster. It's not so big anymore. It really isn't. It's funny how things kind of...
but that safety factor is there.
It's huge.
You can see above everybody. When you're driving down the road and you see brake lights, you can actually see most of what's going on in front of you.
You can see a lot of maneuvers down the road, right? Because you're above the other folks, most of them.
And that makes me, when I'm driving, feel a lot safer.
Yeah, and Sue drives, so... So... And I keep referring to my notes, so excuse me for doing that, but there's just too much for me to remember everything, and it's kind of important. I want to make sure I get the points out. Braking and control is a non-issue now. Before, your pickup truck weighed about 8,000 pounds. This thing, with the smart car on it, it's about 24,000 pounds. My trailer's about 18.5 fully loaded. So that means that my truck is now heavier and bigger than my trailer is. That's huge. The trailer could move that truck around before, especially with us. We had single rear wheels. Makes a big difference. At least if you have a dually, that's much better. We bought a single rear wheel specifically because I was still working. We were doing commercial snow removal. You don't do that with dual rear wheels. And I said, when we get out on the road, we'll get a bigger pickup truck with dual rear wheels. And instead, we went this route. Now, I'm not telling you need to do this, but it's kind of something to think about, right? One more thing on braking, and I'm glad that I made some notes. If the trailer brakes went out before with my pickup truck, which they did, my pickup truck could not stop that trailer. It took forever.
It sure did.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was. And this truck can stop that trailer whether it has the brakes on or not. So that's a little comfort zone there. You could be coming down a mountain or even just a big hill.
We were coming down a hill.
Yeah, and it's just something to think about. Here's some of the other safety equipment it has. This is called a VADA, the Volvo Active Driver Assist. That's a mouthful. Basically, it's radar below in the front and a camera up top in the windshield. It assists in keeping a safe driving distance from a visual warning on the dash to actually applying the brakes if they're required. So I didn't have that in my pickup truck. We have LCS, which is lane change support. Mm-hmm. I know what these things are. I just don't know what the technical term is for it. And so what that is, it's a lane change support. It alerts the driver of vehicles that are traveling on the passenger side, but in the same direction. Right? There's LED lights on the A pillar over there, and so they light up if something's on the side. If you put on your right-hand turn signal, you're going to get an audible alarm inside the truck. It's almost like a horn blowing or something. Mm-hmm. First couple of times, it's like, what did that guy do? Blow his horn at us going by? But we finally figured out. It's a learning experience, believe me. Here's another thing with the cruise control. We use it all the time. And the beauty about it is when you set your cruise up, you can set it to go how many miles an hour you want it to go above your set speed. So in other words, if you set your traveling speed at 65 and you say 3 miles per hour will be what I'd want it to allow it to go if we're going downhill. So that tells me the truck should stay around 68. And if you get to around 68, and it needs to, it will downshift, it will apply brakes, and it will hold you around 68. So if you feel like it's going a little bit too fast and you want to slow it down 1 mile per hour, you use your switch for the cruise control, which is on the driver's steering wheel. We've used it. We came down Green River area. And that's probably a 7 or 8% downward grade. And we're watching everybody brakes. We didn't have to use our brakes. I never touched the brake pedal all the way down. But I did bring it down a little bit and slowed it up. So that brings us to the engine brake itself. So the engine brake has different settings. It has off, and then it has A, which is automatic, which you would put on for if you're using cruise control so that they'll work in conjunction with each other. Then you have level 1, which applies 40% braking power, level 2, which applies 70% braking power, and level 3, which applies 100%. So that's gonna put you through the windshield. We use 1 and 2. I haven't had the reason to use 3. So, there's also a few things that make life on the road easier, like doing a light check right from my steering wheel. 1 button, I can then just circle the truck and trailer as long as it's plugged in, and I can see if all the lights are working. And if you've watched any of the videos, I've shown you that. I can check the engine oil sitting right here with my steering wheel. Now, I don't do that all the time. I'm not a real trusting guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. But if you're running a little late in the morning, I do it on occasion. And if it was raining, I'm not tilting the hood if I can check it here. And again, I've used it. But then I also will back it up in the next day or so with a physical check. So these things that I mentioned are certainly safety features that help you when you're driving down the road. So also there are things that I would describe as creature comforts. Things like air ride suspension in the rear, air ride hitch, air ride cab. And
most importantly, heated air ride seats.
You got that right. Mm-hmm. That is a valid point. So, these items, along with a 500 horsepower engine, the D13, a 12-speed automated transmission, the I-Shift, which has been proven for decades, right? It's an automated, not an automatic. And just briefly, what an automated is, it is lacking a stick shift right here. Other than that, the transmission is identical. It's gears, it has a clutch, it does not have automatic transmission fluid and a torque converter with bands in it. Okay, that's the difference. So they, I've seen a few out there that have an Allison automatic transmission in it, and that would be with the torque converter and bands, and it'd be more fluid. This shifts just as a driver would. It skip shifts. If you don't have the weight on, which we don't, this thing doesn't go through every gear with us, and it'll even start off, because it's a smart transmission. It figures out you don't have a lot of weight. We don't need to start off in first or second. Usually it's third or fourth. A lot of times if we're in a, like pulling out of here, I'll put it in second. But just means you're going to shift one more time. That's all that it means. So, having those things that I described, the 500 horsepower D13 engine, the I-Shift transmission, it actually, and you're going to laugh when I say this, it actually makes driving this thing dangerous.
Seriously? How did it create dangerous situation?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because it's so effortless that you forget the trailers on the back, and that I'm not exaggerating on. You got to keep in mind when you're going over things, because you're just riding like this, you got a trailer on the back. You got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you're right, because the few times I have driven it, it's very easy to forget about it.
To forget that transmission's, to forget that trailer's back there.
I have driven the pickup truck. I did not enjoy it too much because I knew it was there.
It was a little more work.
It was more work. But on this here, yeah, he's right. It could be, if you don't pay attention.
Yeah, you could forget.
You're going to forget.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with all of that said, I've heard HDT owners, some, say that they can drive for hundreds and hundreds of miles and hours of driving, and when they get all done, they're fresh. And let me tell you something. If you drive 600 miles, 600 miles is still 600 miles. If you drive for 12 hours, 12 hours is still 12 hours behind the wheel. What I mean is, when we would get done, we've put in a few of those, which I didn't sign up for. When you get done that day, yes, my back isn't killing me. I feel good. I'm still fatigued. You get mentally fatigued. You still have to watch for those four-wheelers cutting in front of you. You still have to watch for that person that's coming in that doesn't know how to merge. After you do that for 12 hours, you're mentally fatigued. You got to keep that in mind. You can't think, I got an HDT. I can drive for 12, 13 hours. Yeah, you can. The truck can do it. But you got to remember, you're still a human being. And we get fatigued. So I don't totally agree with what they're saying, some of them. And maybe I just took what they said the wrong way. But that's my thought on it. That's my take on it. And that's from doing it. So.
Yeah, another creature comfort item that I enjoy very much is being able to stop at a rest stop, have lunch, whether it's heating it up in a microwave or getting a salad that I made to travel with.
Yep, go ahead.
Into the from the refrigerator.
Microwave.
And being able to sit, the refrigerator, and being able to sit at our table here in the truck and have lunch.
Yeah, full freezer. Oops. Yep. Which if you have one of these and these things break off, I do have a video on it. If you take a look, I fixed mine because I couldn't find a door anywhere. You might want to take a look at that. It wasn't terribly hard, but there was a learning curve to it.
Yeah,
and then there's our table right there. I know we're not showing all this stuff, so I'm kind of bringing you in. That turns into the bottom bunk, which we then, we put up a new flag up in the back. we then have a 2-inch
Mattress
memory
cover.
foam
Yeah.
mattress that we then roll out on the top of this, and Sue puts down her
Sheets and blankets,
sheets and
whatever's needed.
blankets.
And
These things are killing me today. They're killing me. All right. Well, the GoPro died, and that kind of blew your train of thought, but
Yeah,
you
it
had another
did.
thought you were going to finish.
One of the other things of having our little comforts here with the microwave and the refrigerator and our table to have our lunch here on the road is we don't have to go into the camper and slide out, so we can use the refrigerator and the microwave in the camper. Sometimes you don't have the room for it at a rest stop or wherever we
To
may...
be able to put the slides out.
Yeah, to
right?
put the slides out, because you need to do that. But
And it stops you from having to put the slides out,
Right.
because we couldn't really sit in there and eat.
I've come to be mindful of prepping food beforehand, so we can take them into the camp,
Into the semi truck, into
in the
roadie.
semi truck.
Yeah.
So that, like I said, it could be salads or something that I put up together into a package that we microwave. So this is a home away from home. We're on the road
Yeah.
when we don't have to get into the camper. So that's a great thing with this setup.
Oh, this works so good.
It does.
And when I'm driving, I just go over with my hand and say, "Beer me," and my wife gives me a beer. Well, no,
No. No.
I don't drink.
Water, but not drinking beer.
Oh yeah, Gatorade me. That doesn't sound as exciting. Gatorade me.
No.
Beer me.
Beer me, yeah.
Gatorade.
But no, it's been a great experience on the road with it.
So lastly, a big concern is insuring these HDTs. I don't know about you, but before I got into this, I'm saying, how do I even go about it? Who does it? Is there more than one insurance company that will even insure these things?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I've dealt with insurance for quite some time being in business, and I know how squirrely they are. Did I say that out loud?
Mm-hmm.
They are. So what do you think it costs to insure something like this? You think it's tens of thousands of dollars? It's not. Our current insurance policy is with Progressive. It's full coverage. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details, but the overview is it's a little over $1,900 a year for full coverage, and an additional $6 and change for an umbrella policy, which I felt that we needed to have an adequate insurance coverage for us. So that's what I know about insurance. Now, somebody else watching this might be able to comment and let you know about a different, maybe State Farm, or I don't even know who's out there, but some different insurance that they get a better deal with. I wouldn't say I've got the best deal. I have a deal, and this is less than when I first bought this truck and I needed to get it insured to get it off of the lot. It was still commercial. It cost me a lot more than this. So I felt that this was a good way to go. So before we call it a day, let's talk about the negatives. Everything has a downside. There's no two ways about it. You can think, I don't know if you can come up with any, but the few that I jotted down are, they're big.
Yeah, big.
I don't know if you noticed, but they're big. They're tall, they're wide, but they're no wider than a dually, and they're no wider than my trailer, which is actually a plus, not a negative. Why would that be a plus? Well, I don't know about you, but when I'm driving near Jersey barriers that are about a white line away to your tire on the trailer, my pickup truck was further away. So that was a little harder to judge. There was 6 or 8 inches on each. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're in tight. We're kind of finish up. We're almost done, and GoPros are giving me a headache today. So one of the things is, I started to tell you, they're big, and the width is actually a plus, not a negative, because you're now in line with your trailer. If the front of this goes through, and going straight now, of course, I'm talking about the back, the trailer follows and goes through also. It's easier to guide this thing when you're in those situations on the highway, which you will be in, because we're out there in tractor trailers that run in double boxes, and we're on 2 lanes, and we're in construction zones. You remember that one?
Yes, yes.
And it was too tight, and he came through with a double box. I said,
And going fast.
And going fast. I actually have that on cam, yeah, on the
Dash cam.
dash cam. Thanks.
Somebody on the side here.
Yeah, I know it. He wants to go by.
Well, you have a truck?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
There's a double pasture. There's no frickin' room.
Maybe there's more room on this side.
There's more room on this side. It also increases your overall length because they're longer than a pickup truck, right? So we're like 70 feet now, and we weren't 70 feet before. You also need more room to turn this beast around. So in other words, you need bigger parking spots. You need bigger boondocking spots. You need bigger. Think bigger. Bigger. You need bigger harvest host. I don't know if you watched any of those videos, but they can be a challenge. It is what it is. But the turning radius on this is actually better than my pickup truck, okay? The turning radius on this truck itself. Right. Because my truck was a four-wheel drive, so anybody that's got a little mechanical background knows that they have a knuckle inside with an axle, and they can't turn as sharp as this. This turns sharp. So plus and minus, right? So you need more room to turn it around. If you get nervous easily, if things wind you up, if you're a little tight, is that a good way to put it? If you're wound a little tight all the time, this is going to be a challenge for you because there's many times that will test you.
We got a guy coming.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Wait a minute, why?
I'd say bring clean underwear, wear your Depends, and don't overlook strapping a stadium buddy to your leg. You know what a stadium buddy is, right? Look it up. If you and your partner, which we don't,
no, not at all.
Some people might, are subject to arguing. You're gonna find things in travel with this that might bring that to the surface a little quicker.
Yes.
It makes the pot boil faster. Yes?
Yes, it does. Yes,
because if I'm driving and we go past our turn,
yes,
I go,
turn left on Brook Road.
Is this it right here? I don't know. I don't see a sign. I don't think that is it? No, you got 200 feet to go. Now you're in the middle of the road. Wait a minute.
you can turn either way in the middle of the road.
I know, but there's a car coming at you.
Well, I gotta go now find a place to turn around. And sometimes it's not driving into a parking lot and turn around. It's backing into a place and turning around. It's like, okay, so back in and turn around. But sometimes you're in traffic when you have to do that. It just, if you think that you're always going to find the best scenario to work with, you will be disappointed. So you got to kind of keep it, keep the reins tight at all times.
One of the things we have decided to do, and we have to stick to it, is not driving too many hours. We are going to set a limit, 3-4 hours maybe, instead of 5 or 6 hours, or 7 or 8 hours. That is one of the biggest...
And that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, because that's one of the
you
biggest
won't be worn
issues.
out. Yeah. That's when our mistakes more times are made.
Because we're tired.
Because we're tired and we miss something. And GPS isn't always God out there. Sometimes it tells you to take a left, and it's not really the left that you need to take. And we've been down this road, and it's done it to us out in the woods. Going to Boondockers Welcome. There's another video for you. Boy, I'm really promoting today, huh?
Yeah, you are.
Turn right on Locust Street, then take the first left.
Where is Oh, it's right here.
Oh my God.
You gotta go up on that street.
Turn right on Thompson Street, then take the first right. Turn right on Thompson Street, then take the first right.
How are we looking over there?
Yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Okay.
I just wanted you. I don't think we can get in there. I don't know. That was a small street.
I don't know how the hell you'd get out of there.
No, I know. I didn't know this was a store here, but.
Turn left on Locust Street, then take the first left.
Locust Street is right after this telephone pole. And that's a small street. Are you supposed to even be up there? You can't make that. There's no way you can make that.
I'm not going up there.
No. But all in all is you just got to be mindful of where your route is. Do your Garmin and set your route. Also, you know, just be mindful of the surroundings you're in when you are driving out
And we
there.
need to get better at doing Google Earth
Yes,
and things
yes.
like that.
And that is what
Some
I
of
was
it's on our
lacking.
shoulders
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, and we're going to get better at it. We know we have to.
Mhm.
As far as the height goes on this, people say, how are you going to get into a camping area with this? This is 13.3, the camper's 13.6. The camper gets in, we get in. Doesn't mean you're not going to hit some low-hanging trees and stuff, you know what I mean? It's like,
Just
so
take your time.
in conclusion, the building of Rhodey was a very good experience for us. Would you say yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We couldn't be any happier with our decisions, our dance partners that we chose, and especially the performance of Rhodey, our HDT. I mean, this thing has done everything but everything. I'm going to start to cry again, but Rhodey has done everything that we've asked and then some. Our troubles, our breakdowns, if you've watched, was spring related mostly.
On the trailer.
Yeah, and we've got that rectified again. We did more ride, and there's another video for you. Hey, I hope you learned something. I hope you were maybe a little entertained, because that's part of making videos. If I'm not entertaining you a little bit, and you're not gonna last. And if you made it this deep into this video, you've got stick-to-itiveness. Be proud of that. And maybe you could go out and subscribe. Push that subscribe button. Be happy. Do it.
Yes.
And maybe you can go give it the old up yours. I'd appreciate it.
I would too.
And Sue would appreciate it. And it makes us feel like, I don't know, maybe we're doing the right thing. We will see you
on the next one.
On the next one. So that was a little harder to judge. There was 6 or 8 inches on each. These things are killing me. I'm going to throw them right out the window. Let's wrap this up. Go. You're going to see me kill the GoPro. Rhodey, I love you. Susan, what are you doing here?